As an I. Welcome back to another video. I am your favorite, the one and only Supreme Matriarch of the Sacred Gynarchic Order. Okay. So I'm Goddess Kasha, and today we are on our fourth part of the Matriarchy series. So today we're discussing the steps on how to create a gynarchic society. Now, in part 3, I discussed the structure of what a gynarchic society looks like. So I broke down society into seven different infrastructural elements, right? So now I'm going to break down a bit deeper how we're going to get to this stage, right? I did hint a little bit when I was speaking about economy. I did hint how we're going to get to a gift economy. So I already let you guys know about that one, but today I'm going to speak about the other sections, okay? The first thing that we have to analyze is how the patriarchy was able to destabilize our culture in the first place. So you can find that in part 2, where I basically, is the US a matriarchy or a patriarchy? In that video, I break down what colonialism did, okay? How colonization affected the current culture and what it replaced it with and how, okay? So basically, that's part 1, basically understanding how patriarchy destabilized our societal culture in the first place. Step 2 is understanding the fundamental difference between a matriarchy and a gynarchy. So, as you remember from part 3 of this series, a matriarchy has 3 functional elements that would classify a society as matriarchal, and gynarchy has 5. So it has the 3 that a matriarchy has, plus 2 more. So it's important that we remember this distinction. So breaking it down into all of these 5 core elements, basically we have to tackle each one at a time. So starting with lineage and kinship. So that is the matrilineal aspect. So basically, in order to reinstate the matrilineal aspect, we have to change how we view ourselves, how we view lineage, and who we prioritize as our cultural parent, right? So starting with kinship, right? Lineage and identity. That all goes together. Kinship, lineage, and identity, okay? This comes with marriage. Now, I did mention before we were going to implement, polyandrous marriages, communal living, things like that. So I'm just going to break it down just a little bit more. In order to get back to a gynarchic state, men would have to take the last name of their wives. That's 1. Second, men would have to view themselves as helpmates for their wives. So they would come in as support to help the wife with her mission and her vision. That is what he's supposed to do, and he has to get back to that purpose. Third, men have to form brotherhood. So he has to get rid of competition, he has to get rid of self-centeredness, and he has to form a brotherhood surrounding the woman. Now, when you form a brotherhood surrounding the woman, she is then protected and she is supported with all of your expertise, And not only that, you guys provide genetic variety for her to have the most viable child. So now we're going into genetics, okay? And her being able to have that power of being able to provide or produce the most healthy child that she can, because she is now being presented with a variety of DNA from different sperm, okay? So this is the beginning of the lineage aspect, right? Okay. Inheritance. This is very vital when it comes to identity and lineage. So inheritance. We see what the patriarchy did and how it placed importance on sons. We know now that you have transitioned into goddess consciousness, you know that women are the ones who carry the lineage through her mitochondrial DNA, right? So that means we have to bring that into the forefront, into our infrastructure. So that means the children would have the last names of the mother. The mother would pass down what she built in her lifetime to her daughters, okay? Boys can have inheritance as well. They get memorabilia. The girls get the infrastructural inheritance. So houses, assets, farms, whatever property you have, and you pass that down to the daughter. She is the one who will be responsible for carrying on your legacy. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's what this is, a legacy. Also, women, if you are not fond of your last name, if your last name reminds you of your father, if your last name came from slavery, change that sucker. Change that sucker. That's not your name. You create your name. You create your last name, make a family crest. You understand what I'm saying? And create a legacy around your name. Let it be something that your future generations can look back and say, oh, this is the matriarch of our family. She instilled upon us this thing. We must carry this on because this is what she stood for. That is what is so important about legacy. You being able to pass down something generationally that can live beyond this particular avatar that you're in.
I fucking did this. I did this too. I've been talking about the destiny swap thing or whatever on my page, and I also decided for myself, I'm like, I'm not taking my husband's last name. Like, he's gonna take mine or we're gonna create a new name, right? And something told me to create your fucking crest. And that's how you know the ancestors are talking to us. Let me show you. Like, you can't make this shit up, bro. Where is it? Family crest, 419. Family home names. Like, I'm not fucking playing around. Family name. I'm not fucking around. Like, I'm reclaiming everything that's mine. Everything that's mine. I'm talking about I'm starting new family traditions that, like, they want to keep saying black people have no culture, black people have no culture. Yes, the fuck we do. Now we're definitely gonna double down on that shit and create, yo. This how you know the collective, yo, tapped in, my boy, tapped in.
Also, one thing I forgot to mention, do not create contention by making comparison. When we are, living polyandrously and there are multiple men providing you with their sperm donation for you to have a viable child, all of them are social fathers. Do not look at any one of them as more of a father than another. Because this child looks more like this person or this is their biological father. That's not how that works. So we have to re-implement the social father system, okay? It's not about whose sperm dominated the others or which sperm your uterus chose. It's more so about their presence. It's about their presence. It's about their presence. Fatherhood is about being that masculine model in a child's life. It's not about sperm, because if that was the case, we wouldn't have a fatherless epidemic right now. So stop saying someone is a father because your egg chose their sperm. That's not what makes a father. Okay, thank you. Next is residence. Now, we have mastered residence as far as single mothers is concerned. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, most of the family live with the mom. You guys have her last name. You know what I mean? You know her family over your father's family, but that is just by default through the absence of a man. But I'm speaking about if the man is there, if the men are there, you need to still implement this and do it intentionally, making sure that that child knows who they are. This is a part of that identity that I'm speaking about. But also now we're going into the matrilocal part of this gynarchic system. So now we're in residence, okay? So residence is, we are all in a multi-generational communal home that is run by a matriarch. It could be Big Mama, Nana, right? Or it could be the oldest, wisest woman in that family, okay? The oldest woman in that family, the oldest, wisest woman in that family is the matriarch, okay? That means that everyone should live with her. If you are 18, stop moving out your mama house. That's fragmenting the family. There should be multiple generations in that house living with the mother's family. It should be grandma, aunties, uncles, cousins, grandma, mommy, everybody should be in that house. What fragments us and causes us to lose our strength as a nation and spread our resources thin is the fact that we move out and we struggle. We get our own apartment, we get our own little studio, and we're doing it because, we grew up in homes that probably wasn't the best. We think, this is what makes us an adult and have a responsibility. But no, we should stay together now until the infrastructure is put in place for our clan homes to be more spread out so that it can be more of a kind of like a village type situation. You know what I mean? So right now, it's about pooling resources. Right now, it's about not giving your energy to a system that doesn't care about you. So we need to be thinking about the sacrifice we're making moving forward. The next part is Metro-focality, so social authority. I understand that most times we are inherently a matriarchal people. So most times we do give, Big Mama's word weight. We do. But there are people who sometimes they don't listen to their mom. They don't respect their mothers. You know what I mean? And there are plenty of people who do not know the divinity of the woman. So right now, while some of us inherently show reverence to our mothers and Big Mama, there are plenty of us who do not. So that means we have to be intentional about making sure that everyone knows that when you come to this house, you pay respects to Nana. You pay respects to Big Mama because she is the matriarch of this house. You don't disrespect her house when you come over. And that is something we need to intentionally implement. If you do not have Big Mama and you are just a woman who's married, then you are the matriarch. If you're the oldest, you are the matriarch. You are the head of that household as the wife. You're the head of the household in the house that you're in. You do all the work anyway. You delegate everything anyway. Don't be afraid of the title. You are the head of household. Spirituality. Now, again, like I said, anyone who wants to create their own matriarchal community, coven, intentional community, whatever they want to call it, eco-village. It's important that when it comes to spirituality, you have a gynotheistic spirituality. That means that it is based upon feminine divinity. The creator deity must be feminine, okay? Because feminine holds everything. And if your creator deity is male, that means your creator deity is incomplete, and it is not everything, it is limited. So we are already doing this, obviously. Those of you who know, who's been watching me for years, you know, I've already implemented, this ancient practice and ancient knowing of Yanism. So the Supreme Black Goddess is, our creator deity. And, everybody, she's the mother of all people, so everybody should be able to acknowledge and reverence her. But if you want to reverence any one of her daughters, you can do that too. Just make sure that you are not placing any one of her sons as the creator of the universe, because that doesn't make any sense. And also, when it comes to spirituality, every home, every clan home should have a home temple or an altar. On this altar is your maternal ancestor, okay? Your maternal ancestor should be on this altar. And, if she transitioned, that's perfect. You know what I mean? That's who you should be giving reverence to. The earliest matriarch that you know of in your bloodline should be on that altar, along with a cosmic womb, a yoni, a cosmic yoni, the great yoni, should be up there as well. And make sure that you are representing the elements. So you should have incense for air, a candle for fire. You should have flowers for earth, or you can put sand from the beach, either or, whatever you choose. And also a chalice of water, a bowl of water, whichever. And this shows the culmination of the great goddess, making sure that all of her elements are represented, and your personal goddess from your bloodline, that is the earliest matriarch that you are aware of that has transitioned. She should be on your altar. That is a basis of a gynotheistic spirituality, spiritual system, okay? This is something we implement in Yanism, and if you aren't practicing Yanism, then this is the model that you should be practicing, no matter what you call it. It's Yanism, no matter what you call it, for real. Because Yanism is the most authentic gynotheistic religion out there. Everything else, most other religions have a supreme deity that is a male, and then there's goddesses that people reverence, but those goddesses were afterthoughts or children of the male deity that they feel is all-encompassing. So you can have a pantheon with goddesses in it, but if your supreme deity is a male, it's still incorrect. Sorry, okay. Next, governance. Now, governance is very simple. I broke down to you in part 3 exactly how the governance should be. So the very first thing that you should start with is gathering up those of you who are in alignment with this frequency. And so we can most definitely create our own social government, as in once we give the social power back to Black women, we are basically governing ourselves, right? But I would like to go beyond symbolic governance and go into practical governance, right? So I am hesitant. I'm hesitant to give you guys the steps on this one because it's really for the inner circle to know and for you guys to find out once it's being implemented, then you can see it come into fruition. How about that? Yeah, it's going to come into fruition, and you guys will know exactly once you start seeing us in government, then you'll be able to know what we did. But up until now, I'll just keep it for you guys. Let's start with the social, symbolic governance first. Let's see how we can implement the model of government that I described to you in part 3, which is the 9 primordial goddesses, right? Put that in play first, right? In your respective city, in your respective state, in your respective country, right? Let's form that interconnected web. And then the next step after that is to step into world governments, actual politics, okay? And there's a method to that too, but yes, it's only for those women. So I'm gonna save the steps and plans on how to do that for them. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is a quick one, but also it's quick because, you know, technical reasons. So when I get some more memory and space and all that, my videos will go back to being long. But for now, that is all for today. And stay tuned for part 5 of the Matriarchy series, because I'm not done. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Also, I would like to say, if you have not already, do your very best to follow me on Instagram at _Yanism_, and be sure to DM me and pay attention to my stories. My stories is where I place all of my updates on whether there's going to be a Zoom meeting, a community Zoom meeting, or if there's going to be an event, or if, you know, just important dates to look out for of when the calendar is going to be released, when the planner is going to be released, when the books are going to be released. Pay attention to my stories, okay? And that is also where I interact with you. If you would like to be a part of my broadcast channel, Crowned by Her, please do that. It is on my Instagram page, Black Polyandry. So join the broadcast channel so that you can interact with me more intimately. Okay? Thank you so much, and I will see you guys soon. Much love, and remember to worship the Yoni as an eye.